Cape Coral just approved $65 million in new spending, and most homeowners probably didn't even hear about it. Some of those decisions could influence how buyers see this market and where the city is headed next. After helping hundreds of families buy and sell here, these are the kinds of changes I pay attention to before they show up in home values. So think about the Yacht Club a couple years from now. New seawall, better protection from storm surge, JC Park redone, people walking around there in the evening. That's the city just put money behind it. The city council approved up to $65 million in special obligation revenue bonds, and a big part of that is going into two of the strongest areas in Cape Coral. You've got $18.7 million into JC Park and $23 million going into seawall upgrades at the Yacht Club. That's money going straight into waterfront protection. And if you know Florida real estate, you know that conversation is not going away. Keep that seawall number in your head, because later it's going to connect to how you should think about buying or selling here over the next year. Now, if you own near the Yacht Club or JC Park, this can make your area more desirable. Seawalls protect what's behind them, and parks bring people into the neighborhood. Pretty simple, right? You also got money for irrigation upgrades at Coral Oaks Golf Course and funding for the North 1 West Transportation Project. So if you're selling in that area, you may have some leverage if you're patient and let these projects take shape. And if you're thinking about moving here, reach out with the info in the description or scan the QR code on your screen. But yeah, parks and seawalls aren't the only money changes happening at City Hall right now. Building a brand new home in Cape Coral just got more expensive, and this isn't because lumber or labor went up. Council adopted two ordinances, 11-26 and 12-26, which raised the impact fees builders pay for every new home. Police, fire, and parks are all part of it. These fees started July 1st, 2026, and they keep stepping up through 2029. When new construction gets more expensive, resale homes can start looking better by comparison. So if you already own a home here, that demand can work in your favor. And if you're buying, don't just look at the price on a brand new build. You have to ask what's included in that final number, because it's more than it used to be. We'll break down what this does to your monthly costs once we get into the budget section coming up. But this fee increase is one of the first signs that the cost of living in Cape Coral is starting to move. And if you're watching this and trying to figure out whether now is the right time to buy or sell near the water, this is the kind of stuff I help people work through every week. Reach out to me today and we will figure out what works best for you. My contact info is in the description below if you want a second opinion. Okay, let's keep going. Now, the city's adding new sidewalks along Embers Parkway and El Dorado. You've got medium curbing, landscaping, and a $1.8 million traffic signal going in at Chiquita Boulevard and Embers Parkway. And on top of that, Cape Coral secured a Florida DOT grant to design a sidewalk near schools, giving kids a much safer route to walk to class. For families, that kind of investment makes a real difference. The city was built in the 1950s and 60s as a car-first city, so you can still feel that when you drive around here. Right now, the city has about 135 miles of sidewalks and just under 70 miles of bike lanes. The long-term plan more than doubles both of those over the next couple of decades. For a city that wasn't built around walking, that's a real change. That is important because every car leaving Cape Coral for Fort Myers or I-75 has to go through one of two bridges, the Cape Coral Bridge or the Midpoint Memorial Bridge. And stick with me here. By the end of this video, I'll pull all of this together into a simple way to decide if now's the right time for you to make a move. Now, anything the city can do to keep people moving inside Cape Coral, walking, biking, staying local, that takes pressure off those spots little by little. It's not an overnight fix, but it's movement. And when a neighborhood gets safer to walk, buyers notice, families notice. That can help values in that pocket over time. The city's 2045 mobility plan calls for more ways to get around Cape Coral without relying on a car for every single trip. These sidewalks and that new signal are some of the first real steps in that direction. This is the early part of a plan the city's been talking about for the next 20 years. Sidewalks are the easier part, but the real cost of growing this fast shows up somewhere else. This is the part most buyers don't think about when they're budgeting for a home. Cape Coral's summer budget workshop laid out a 2027 budget of about $1.5 billion, and inside that budget are some rate increases you need to know. Water and sewer are set to go up around 11%. Stormwater is going up a little over 4%, and solid waste is going up around 5%. And none of that shows up on the listing price, so you don't see it when you're scrolling homes online, and you feel it after you close when the bill shows up. That seawall and park bond is a separate bill from the city. It's paid through the general fund and golf course revenue, not your water bill. The water and sewer increase is its own thing. It's funding new treatment plants and pipe expansion across a $1.6 billion capital plan. This is what I tell buyers all the time. You can't only look at the mortgage payment, but you got to look at the city costs, the insurance, the taxes, all of it together. Homeowners insurance around here averages about $3,600 a year for a non-waterfront home. But if you're on a Gulf Access canal, that can run anywhere from $3,500 to $8,000 a year or more, depending on the roof, the location, and how close you are to the water. And insurance has been moving all over the place the last few years. Homeowners insurance, flood insurance, all of it. I have started seeing some better rates come through recently, but you still have to run the numbers before you fall in love with the house. On top of that, property taxes here are around 1.10% of the purchase price each year. So when you stack the new utility rates, property taxes, and a Gulf Access insurance bill, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000 a year before you even touch the mortgage. Now, none of this is happening by itself. Prices have softened a bit over the past year, with homes sitting longer than they were before. Sellers are giving buyers a little more room than they were a couple years ago. Even with costs going up, you're not walking into this with no leverage. At the end of the day, whether you live here 20 years or you're just moving in, these carrying costs decide what your real monthly payment looks like. But not every change in Cape Coral comes with another bill attached. When you drive over the bridge into Cape Coral now, you can't miss it. There's now a 250-foot flagpole over Bernice Braden Park, taller than any other flagpole in the state of Florida, sitting right there at the foot of the bridge. So it's one of the first things you see when you come into the city. And that was funded through community donations, which tells you something about how people here feel about this city and where it's going. My wife has lived here since she was 7, so she's watched Cape Coral change from a sleepy little community into what it is now. And that flagpole kind of sums it up. Cape Coral is not hiding anymore. The numbers show the same thing. Cape Coral is now pushing past 230,000 people, making it the 8th most populated city in Florida. It was also ranked the #1 snowbird destination in the country last year. The city has billions of dollars in master plan development moving through the pipeline, from Hudson Creek in the northwest to the Seven Islands project off of Old Burn Store Road. So Cape Coral isn't a small town anymore, and it's not trying to act like one. At the same time, the council moved the citizens input period back to the start of their meeting. Before, public comment was near the end, after meetings were already dragging on. Residents pushed back, ADA concerns came up, and the city moved it to the front. When a city is growing this fast, people want a clear voice in what that growth looks like. And when you put all these pieces together, the direction Cape Coral is heading gets pretty easy to read. At the end of the day, the homes that hold their value here over the next few years may not be the ones with the nicest curb appeal. They're going to be the ones sitting close to where the city is putting money. So if you own near the Yacht Club, JC Park, or any of these project areas, email me at german@swflhouses.com today. I'll walk you through what this could mean for your home's value right now. I'm putting together a short list of the streets that could benefit the most from these changes. And if your property is on one of them, you want to know that before the rest of the market starts paying attention. And if this video got you thinking about buying in Cape Coral, watch the video I've linked next. I break down what it costs to live here day to day, including the water and sewer assessments some properties have that run over $32,000. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.